All right, today we're diving into a brilliant little poem that totally nails one of the most draining human habits out there, the constant need to complain.
I mean, you know the type, right? The sun's too sunny, the rain's too wet, it's too quiet, then it's too loud. It feels like absolutely nothing can ever be just right. We've all met someone like that, and if we're being honest, maybe we've even been that person from time to time.
So, our guide for this little exploration is a poem called The Grumble Family. And you might be surprised who wrote it. None other than L.M. Montgomery, the amazing Canadian author who gave us Anne of Green Gables. So, you know the storytelling is going to be top-notch. Let's start our little tour of their world.
First things first, Montgomery doesn't just describe a mindset, she builds a whole world. She paints this incredibly vivid picture of a very specific, and let's be real, a very gloomy neighborhood where these folks live. Our tour starts right here. Picture this. Their address is literally Complaining Street. The poem frames it as a real place, a spot you could actually find yourself living if you're not paying attention. And where is this street? Oh, it's in the middle of a much larger city, the city of Never Are Satisfied. I mean, how perfect is that? It shows that for the Grumble family, complaining isn't just something they do, it's the entire culture of where they live. And to complete this dreary picture, their whole city is right next to the river of discontent. It's like the very lifeblood of the community. Everything flows from this constant state of just not being happy with anything. Okay, so now we know where they live, but let's get a little more personal. Let's take a look at how they think. What is actually going on in the mind of a true grumbler? So, at the heart of it all is the grumble, and it's important to know it's not just any old complaint. The poem makes it clear this is a bad-tempered complaint. There's a sourness to it, an undercurrent of anger that really fuels their whole worldview. And this is where their logic just completely falls apart. I mean, think about it. They complain when it's hot, they complain when it's cold, they growl when it rains, and they growl when the sun is out. The real takeaway here is that what's actually happening outside doesn't matter one bit. For a grumbler, there's always something wrong. And here it is. This is the secret, the absolute punchline to their whole way of thinking. If, by some wild miracle, everything was perfect, they'd still find a reason to complain. Why? Because they'd have nothing to grumble about. See, the problem isn't the problem. The real problem is their need to have a problem. And maybe the most brilliant psychological insight in this whole poem is this. A real, dyed-in-the-wall grumbler will never, ever admit that that's who they are. They just don't see it in themselves. They'll defend every single complaint they make, but they will never claim the family name of Grumble. All right, so it's a pretty miserable way to live, for sure. But the poem's warning is actually much deeper than that. This isn't just a personal choice, it's practically a public health issue. Because the grumbler mindset, it's contagious.
This is the core wording of the whole piece. It's kind of like a zombie movie, right? You hang around the zombies for too long, you're going to get bitten. Well, negativity and discontent work the same way. You can absolutely absorb those attitudes from the people and places around you.
The poem even breaks down how this happens, almost like a four-step guide to ruin. It starts pretty innocently. You just take a little stroll down Complaining Street. But then you stay a little too long. And soon enough, you start to pick up the local lingo, that growl. Before you even know what's happened, you're not just a visitor anymore. You've been officially adopted into the Grumble family. But it's not all doom and gloom. After showing us the problem and all the dangers, the poem does something really important. It shows us the way out. So how do we make sure we don't get stuck in Miseryville? The advice is just so simple and so powerful. The best way to avoid all this trouble, just don't go there. It's about being really mindful of the mental and social spaces we choose to spend our time in. So the poem really lays out a clear choice for us, a fork in the road. On one side, you've got the grumbler's way, all grumbles and growls and gloom. But on the other side, there's this incredible alternative. You can replace all that negativity with a smile, a song, and just a simple decision to walk on and learn from whatever life throws at you. And this is the final amazing takeaway. Look, the poem isn't saying life is perfect. It knows things will absolutely go wrong sometimes. The choice isn't about having a perfect life. It's about how we decide to move through the messy, imperfect parts of it. And in the end, the poem leaves us all with this really personal, really powerful question. It's a choice we get to make every single day, with every thought and every word we speak. Complaining Street is always going to be there, but so is that other path. The only question is, which one are you going to walk on today?